I'm Randy Walker, and this is William Perry, and we're going to show you a little flavor of downtown Athens, Georgia. Mellow mushroom. We are on Broad Street, downtown Athens, Georgia, and this is where the famous taco stand restaurant used to be located, and now it is Bubble Cafe, a bubble tea establishment. R.I.P. Taco Stand. William Perry with some awesome history of this apartment building behind us in downtown Athens.
Yeah, so this is University Towers. It actually used to be a parking deck back in the 60s, and you can't really tell that much from the outside, but some of the rooms on the inside, their ceilings slope because it was a ramp that the cars would drive up. And I could never quite picture it until I found this old picture when John Lewis passed away of him and Jesse Jackson and some others doing a protest at the Arch on the other side of us at the University of Georgia, and that building was in the background. It was one of the cool old parking spaces where the cars would either back in or pull in, and part of the car would be hanging off the edge. Because I could never figure out, that's a really tight space. But the cars would literally hang over the edge of the building in order to fit in the parking space, and they had like a center ramp that went all the way around it. I think on the other side they used to have like an elevator for the cars that would take them up. So, pretty cool history.
So all you commercial real estate developers there, you'll never look at a parking deck the same way again.
There you go.
Okay, behind me is Little Italy here in downtown Athens, Georgia. This is might be the best pizza place in downtown Athens, and certainly a spot where all the co-eds and students are going to soak up their beers on weekend nights. But being from New York City, the home of the greatest pizza in the world, this definitely gets a thumbs up from our Walker. All right, behind me is the Globe Bar here in downtown Athens, Georgia, and very funny story with me and one of my most memorable experiences at the Globe was, I think it was 1996, NCAA tennis championships here in Athens, Georgia, at the University of Georgia, and there was a young woman who I worked with. Her name was Mary Margaret Little, and she was the PR director for the USGA Southern section, and she wanted the soup to nuts tour of Athens, Georgia by me when we were both here at the NCAA championships. So I gave her a tour around town, and we would stop off. I said, well, end the tour at the Globe, which is my favorite bar in Athens. So as we were walking to the Globe, I said, oh, and one of the things that's kind of cool about the Globe is if REM is in town, there's probably a pretty good chance that you'll see one or so of the band members having a drink at the Globe. So we walk into the Globe, and lo and behold, the first table inside, all four members of the band are sitting at the front table. Peter Buck, Michael Stipe, Bill Berry, Mike Mills, all sitting there having a team REM meeting. So I didn't want to make a lot of fuss about it, so I just kind of nudged Mary Margaret, and I just said, see what I mean? Thinking that she, obviously saw it too. So we had a drink, walked out, and we're walking to her car, and then I said to her, see, so now you have a great story about your time in Athens, Georgia. You went to the Globe and you saw all four members of REM sitting there having a beer. And she goes, what? I didn't see it. What? I didn't see it. So we had to go back, and then I had to go, point it out to her. There they are sitting there having a beer, not wanting to, make a big fuss over it. So she did have that great Globe experience, and that's one of my fun stories about the Globe here in Athens, Georgia. Maybe I'll go in there right now and see if, maybe one of the guys is there. Yes, you're looking at a big picture, right?
All right, so the bike inside belonged to a guy named Patrick, who was a bar back here at the Globe all during the time I was in school. He'd sweep the floors, clean up after, do that sort of thing. And he would ride his bike back and forth to work. And he lived about a mile down the road, which happened to be catty corner to my roommate and I, the last place we lived my last year at school. And we would see Patrick riding his bike to work, or we'd be out on our porch when he'd come home at night. And sadly, he committed suicide my last year of school, but they put up that bike as a tribute to him. And I was so glad to see that it survived the renovation, because that's really important to a lot of people my age in Athens, or that come back to the Globe to look up there and see Patrick's bike and have happy memories of him. So this portrait is of John Seawright, who was an Athens poet and was big on the Athens music scene back in the old REM days. And he would often do open poetry readings and things like that. And he was also a bartender for a long time at the Globe. And with his death, they put up this oil painting to preserve his memory as well.
Okay, William Perry and I have a funny story about the bar that used to be here called Lowry's Tavern. So what happened, Woody?
Oh, you're going to do that? Good. So this is the former home of the Downstairs, which was a really cool bar back in my day. They had bands and things like that, but there was no seating. There was an old couch, and there were carpets on the floor, and you could sit down on the floor and watch the bands. And it was the first place I saw a famous Athens band called Vigilantes of Love.
Mayflower. I've had some great breakfast in here. It's only open for breakfast. Open since 1948. Okay, that's it for our little tour of Athens, Georgia. Didn't have too much time to do a lot of filming, but William Perry, what can you say about Athens, Georgia? I guess this is called America's greatest college town. What can you tell the folks out there about Athens, GA?
Well, to me, it's called Mecca, the promised land. Athens is the greatest place you can ever be, so y'all come.
You hear?